Hello everyone, it's me Yolo and this video is on best phones for every price segment. We'll start with under 5000 segment. Links for all products will be in the description. Segment specific timestamps will be on the next screen in description and I'll pin it on the comments too. Time to begin. Under 5000 is the segment for first time smartphone buyers and for those who need a smartphone that can perform basic tasks. Majority phones under 5000 are from unrecognized brands and I won't include those in the list because I can't assure of their quality. Speaking of recognizable brands, there is Nokia One that came out a year ago. Nokia One runs on the Go version of Android 10 and is currently available only on Chroma's online website. Nokia One stocks are available in offline showrooms near me and should probably be available for you too. Nokia One retails at Rs 2994 and at this price, this is undoubtedly the best smartphone one could buy. Next under this budget is the Samsung M01 with 1GB RAM and 16GB onboard storage. Powered by MediaTek 6739 processor, clocked at 1.5 GHz speeds. Samsung M01 runs on Android 10 Go version and is currently available on Amazon. Now who is the winner of under 5000 segment amongst the two phones? Clearly it is Samsung because Nokia came out a year ago and Samsung has a faster processor. But for 2000 rupees lesser, Nokia One is a good deal too. If you have a tight budget of 3000 rupees, then opt for Nokia One, or if you can add 2000, then buy the Samsung M01. Under 10,000 is the next segment and things start to get interesting here. Big brands start to compete for the best phone thrown from here along with some notable products from small brands. Let's find out who wins. Starting with Realme Narzo 10A, powered by MediaTek Helio G70 with 3GB RAM and 32GB ROM, expandable up to 256GB with a dedicated microSD card slot. We'll look at more detailed specs during the comparison. Next is the Redmi 9 Prime, powered by MediaTek Helio G80 with 4GB RAM and 64GB storage, expandable up to 512GB with a dedicated microSD card slot. Continuing with Technospark Power 2, powered by Helio P22 with 4GB RAM and 64GB storage, expandable up to 256GB with microSD card slot. Next to appear is the Oppo A12, powered by MediaTek Helio P35 with 3GB RAM and 32GB inbuilt memory, expandable up to 256GB with microSD card slot. These are the top 4 phones under 10,000. If I haven't included some famous models, then that means they are not that good and they did not make it to the top 4. Now let's evaluate and compare these 4. Evaluation pattern will have 3.5 points for processor, 0.25 points for each gig of RAM, 0.25 points for each 32 gigs of storage, 2 points for display, 1.5 points for camera, 2 points for battery backup, 1.5 points for better charge technology, 0.5 points for build quality, -1 for heating issues, negative marking for any other minor problems if any. I really want to add some points for software skin, but then again, it would be everyone's personal opinion. Still, I'll add bonus points for stock Android phones. These scores will be allotted competitively relative to other products on the list. For example, if the processor on phone A gets 95 marks and processor on phone B gets 90, then their points will be calculated with the ratio from their scores. In this case, that will be 1.9 out of 2 for phone A and 1.8 out of 2 for phone B. Phew! This video is going to have lots of calculations. Here's a little comparison table with categories on y-axis and phones on x-axis. Let us start with processors. We'll use versus.com to compute scores out of 100 and then convert to scores out of 2.5. Main aspects for a processor are its CPU speed, graphics, 64-bit support, size, GPU turbo capabilities, RAM speed, memory size. Narzo 10A with Helio G70 gets 2.31 out of 3.5. Redmi 9 Prime with Helio G80 gets 2.45 out of 3.5. Technospark Power 2 with Helio P22 gets 2.52 and Oppo A12 with Helio P35 gets 2.59 out of 3.5. So Oppo A12 wins this category with its Helio P35 chipset. Narzo 10A, Redmi 9 Prime and Technospark Power 2. All three have 4 gigs of RAM and get 1 point, while Oppo A12 has only 3 gigs of RAM and ends up with 0.75 points. On the storage department, Narzo 10A, Redmi 9 Prime and Technospark Power 2 get 0.5 points with their 64 gigs of storage, while Oppo A12 gets 0.25 with its 32 gigs of storage. Display is very important in smartphones as that's what you are going to be using the most. Narzo 10A, Technospark Power 2 and Oppo A12 have HD plus resolution displays and get 0.5 points, while Redmi 9 Prime gets 1 whole point with its FHD plus display. On the camera front, let's use deviceranks.com to compute scores of sensors out of 10 and then convert into scores out of 1.5. Narzo 10A has triple rear camera setup comprising of a 12MP main sensor with f1.8 aperture. This is paired with 2MP depth sensor with f2.4 aperture and a 2MP macro sensor with f2.4 aperture. For selfies, Realme Narzo 10A comes with a 5MP camera. This gets 0.6 points for Narzo 10A. On the Redmi Note 9 Prime, the main camera uses a 13MP OmniVision OV13B10 sensor with 1.12 picometer pixels and 27mm f2.2 lens. It's the only one to offer autofocus, and it's of the regular PDAF variety rather than some fancier technology. The 118° ultra-wide-angle camera has a 8MP Samsung S5K4H7 ISOCELL sensor with 1.12 picometer pixels and a 15mm f2.2 lens. Then there's the 5MP macro camera with 1.12 picometer pixels and a lens with f2.4 aperture. Autofocus is not available. You must keep the phone between 3cm and 5cm from your subjects to get them into focus. The last unit on the back is the 2MP depth sensor. This gets 0.8 points for Redmi Note 9 Prime. The TechnoSpark Power 2 has similar camera setup as an Narzo 10A and gets the same 0.6 points. Oppo A12 has 5MP selfie camera and dual rear camera setup without the useless 2MP macro camera. But Oppo makes it up with its superior image processing and gets the same 0.6 as Narzo 10A and TechnoSpark Power 2. Battery backup is a vital category to consider. Let's see what these 4 phones have to offer in this category. All 4 phones' processors are constructed on 12nm architecture with very similar construction process, so battery power retention should be the same on all 4 phones. The Narzo 10A has 5000 mAh battery with reverse charging support that earns 1.68 points out of 2. Why 1.68? Because 5000 mAh is 83.3% of 6000 mAh, with 6000 mAh being the highest offering in this segment. Remember when I said points will be allotted competitively on percentile basis? Yeah. So 5000 mAh is 83.3% of 6000 mAh and 83.3% of 2 points is 1.68. Hence the score 1.68. The reverse charging feature gives the Narzo an extra 0.1 bonus point. Moving on, the Redmi 9 Prime gets 1.69 points with its 5020 mAh battery and TechnoSpark Power 2 gets 2 whole points with its 6000 mAh battery. Finally, the Oppo A12 gets 1.3 points with its feeble 4230 mAh battery. Next category is charging tech. Generally, higher the charge wattage, faster the charging speed, but that does not necessarily reflect practically every time. It's not the wattage that matters, it's the charging speed that matters. We will use charging wattage to calculate charging efficiency for the under 10,000 segment alone, because there is not enough data on charging speeds for the under 10,000 segment. The Narzo 10A charges at 10 watts and gets 0.8 points in this category. This 0.8 is allotted in the same way as we conferred points in the last segment. The Redmi 9 Prime has 18 watts charging support but ships with only 10 watts in the box. 18 watts brick has to be purchased separately. Therefore, 1.05 is the score for Redmi 9 Prime. I've reduced 0.30 points for not shipping 18 watts brick in box. The TechnoSpark Power 2 charges at 18 watts and 18 watts charging brick is provided in box. Hence it gets the whole 1.5 points. Finally, the Oppo A12 charges at 10 watts and gets 0.8 points. All 4 phones are built on plastic and get 0.5 for build quality. Moment of truth. Let's add these scores up and find which phone ascends the glorious best value throne of this segment. So Redmi 9 Prime is undoubtedly the best phone under 10,000 as of September 2020. TechnoSpark Power 2 takes the second place with just 0.02 points difference. Oppo A12 and Realme Narzo 10A secure third and fourth place respectively. Prices as of October 2020 of our phones are displayed on screen. Next up on the quest for best smartphone is on the under 15,000 price segment. This segment is the spot where processors start to offer the power required for demanding tasks such as rendering videos, playing 3D games such as PUBG and Call of Duty with high graphics settings. Amazing camera lenses, ample battery capacity, high-speed charging all start to appear in this price segment. Our first competitor for this segment is the Poco M2 Pro with 6GB RAM and 64GB storage powered by Snapdragon 720G processor, followed by the new Realme 7 with 6GB RAM and 64GB storage powered by MediaTek Helio G95 processor. Narzo 20, the latest offering from Realme with 6GB RAM and 64GB storage powered by the Helio G95 processor. Next up is the Redmi Note 9 Pro with Snapdragon 720G that comes with 6GB RAM and 64GB storage. Marking scheme will be the same for all segments, but do not compare scores between segments because you cannot compare first grade scores with 5th grade scores. Computer G, can we have a comparison table here?
Here you go.
Right, as usual, x-axis is for phones and y-axis is for categories. On the processor division, Realme 7 and Narzo 20 Pro both are equipped with Helio G95 which scores 17 versus .com and that converts to 2.07 points out of 2.5. The Poco M2 Pro and Redmi Note 9 Pro both score 1.8 with their Snapdragon 720G. Realme 7, Poco M2 Pro and Narzo 20 Pro, all three have 6 gigs of RAM and score 1.5 points for RAM. And finally, the Redmi Note 9 Pro with 4 gigs of RAM and 64GB storage. On the storage front, all 4 phones are equipped with 64 gigs of storage to score 0.5 points. Display wise, Realme 7 and Narzo 20 Pro are the segment leaders with their 90Hz Full HD LCD panels, and both of them score whole 2 points, while the Xiaomi offerings Poco M2 Pro and Redmi Note 9 Pro score 1.25 with their standard 60Hz LCD panels. On the camera front, Realme 7 scores 1.39 with its IMX682, 1.33 for Poco M2 Pro and Redmi Note 9 Pro with the ISOCELL GM2 sensor, and 1.28 for Narzo 20 Pro with its ISOCELL GM1 sensor. Battery backup wise, Realme 7 offers 8 hours of screen on time to score 1.6 points. Poco M2 offers 7 hours 27 minutes of screen on time to score 1.49 points. Redmi Note 9 Pro offers 7 hours 32 minutes of screen on time to score 1.5 points. And finally, Narzo 20 Pro offers 10 hours of battery life to score wholesome 2 points. Next on the charge tech division, Realme 7 takes 34 minutes to charge from 0 to 100. Converting this into 1.5 points, the Realme 7 scores 1.07 points for its charge tech. Poco M2 Pro takes 70 minutes for 0 to 100 and scores 0.69 points. Redmi 9 Pro takes 2 hours and 10 minutes for 0 to 100 with its mini and 18 watts charger and scores a pity 0 points for its charge tech. The Narzo 20 Pro takes 40 minutes to charge from 0 to 100 and scores 1.03 points. Next, on the build quality front, Realme 7 and Narzo 20 Pro are ergonomically well-made plastic builds and scores 0.4 out of 0.5. Poco M2 Pro is some kind of cheap metal build and scores 0.4 points, and Redmi Note 9 Pro has the conventional glass metal sandwich build to score whole 0.5 points. The Realme 7, Poco M2 Pro and Narzo 20 Pro are priced at 14,999 and the Redmi Note 9 Pro retails for a few bucks more at 15,085 rupees. Now let's look at the scores. And finally, Narzo 20 Pro has 10.78 points and ascends the throne of best value smartphone in the under 15,000 price segment. The Narzo 20 Pro retails at realme.com and Flipkart. Links in description. Coming up next is the under 20,000 segment. Competitors of this price segment are Redmi Note 9 Pro Max with 6GB RAM and 64GB storage, powered by Snapdragon 720G, Poco X3 with 6GB RAM and 64GB storage, and is the world's first phone to be powered by Snapdragon 732G, followed by Realme 7 Pro with 6GB RAM and 128GB storage powered by Snapdragon 720G, and Moto One Fusion Plus with 6GB RAM and 128GB storage powered by Snapdragon 730G. Now let's rank them on the table. On the processor department, Redmi Note 9 Pro Max is equipped with Snapdragon 720G and scores 2.06, while Poco X3 boasts the world's first Snapdragon 732G processor and scores 2.7 points. Realme 7 Pro also has the Snapdragon 720G and gets 2.06. Moto One Fusion Plus scores 2.59 with its Snapdragon 730G. All 4 phones we consider are 6GB RAM variants and get 1.5 points under the RAM division. On storage division, Redmi Note 9 Pro Max and Poco X3 get 0.5 points with their 64GB ROM, while Realme 7 Pro and Moto One Fusion Plus score 1 point with their 128GB storage. On the display front, Redmi Note 9 Pro Max and Moto One Fusion Plus get 1.5 points with their normal Full HD Plus LCD panels. The Poco X3 scores 1.97 points with its 120Hz Full HD Plus LCD display and 240Hz touch sampling rate. Realme 7 tops the table by scoring 2 whole points with its FHD Plus AMOLED display. Poco X3 and Realme 7 Pro both are equipped with Sony IMX682 as their primary sensor and are capable of shooting up to 4K 30fps videos. IMX682 scores 1.39 points for both Poco X3 and Realme 7 Pro. Redmi Note 9 Pro Max is equipped with Samsung ISOCELL GM1 sensor and is capable of shooting up to 4K 30fps and scores 1.28 for its camera quality. Moto One Fusion Plus is equipped with Samsung ISOCELL GW1 sensor and is capable of shooting only up to Ultra HD and cannot shoot in 4K at all. The Moto One Fusion Plus scores 1.38 out of 1.8 for its imaging quality. Next, on the battery division, Redmi Note 9 Pro Max offers 6 hours and 22 minutes of screen on time to score 1.59 points. Poco X3 and Realme 7 Pro both offer 5.5 hours of screen on time to score 1.37 points. Moto One Fusion Plus tops this column with its 8 hours screen on time and scores whole 2 points. On to scores for charging tech. Redmi Note 9 Pro Max takes 75 minutes to charge from 0 to 100% with its 33 watts charger, and this translates to 0.94 points on paper. Poco X3 takes 65 minutes to charge from 0 to 100 with its 33 watts charger and scores 1.08 points. Realme 7 Pro takes just 34 minutes to charge from 0 to 100 with its 65 watts super dart charger and scores whole 1.5 points. Moto One Fusion Plus takes 142 minutes for charging from 0 to 100 and scores 0 points for being the slowest in charging speed. On the build quality column, Redmi Note 9 Pro Max is a complete metal build and scores the whole 0.5 points, while Poco X3 and Moto One Fusion Plus are plastic builds and scores 0.3. Realme 7 Pro, although is also a plastic build, it manages to have done it with a premium and fit in-hand feel and hence gets 0.4 points under the build quality division. Poco X3 gets plus 0.2 points for its IP certification, and Moto One Fusion Plus does not have the compass sensor. This sensor enables Google Maps and other navigation apps to show the direction of road you are moving towards. Due to this reason, the Moto One Fusion Plus loses 0.1 points. Redmi Note 9 Pro Max and Poco X3 both retail for Rs 16,999. Moto One Fusion Plus is sold for 17,499 and Realme 7 Pro is for 19,999. Now let's add up the points. Realme 7 Pro is the illustrious best phone under 20,000 rupees. I want to give a special mention for Poco X3 for being the best value phone at 16,999. At 16,999, Poco X3 offers incredibly marvelous value. Realme 7 Pro is 3,000 costlier than Poco X3 and differs by only 0.23 points. So if you have 20,000 and want the absolute best, then go with Realme 7 Pro, or on the other side, if you have a strict 17,000 budget, then sticking with Poco X3 would be the best option. That's it for this video. I won't be able to cover all price segments in one video as this video is already unusually long. Even though these comparison videos are time demanding to make, if you want such awesome comparisons for higher price segments, then let me know in the comments and I'll definitely make it happen for you. Make sure to subscribe, like and share. It's me YOLO and see you all in the next one. Tata!